Hey everyone, and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to show you what happens after you build your new PC. So we all know it, we've built a PC, we want to boot it, everything seems fine, everything lights up, the fans, the RAM modules, the graphics card, the motherboard itself. So what do we do after we build our PC? As you saw, the machine posted, but now it says reboot and select the proper boot device, or insert boot media in selected boot device and press a key. So today I'm going to show you what you do after you build your new rig and how you can start using it. Okay, so I switched to my personal rig right now. First you open up your browser because we're going to download the latest BIOS. So in this new machine there's a Gigabyte motherboard, so I'm going to the Gigabyte website, and I also looked up the motherboard that's in this new PC beforehand. So I'm going to that link. After the page is loaded, we go to support, and then we find the downloads page. On the downloads page we go to the BIOS, and here we download the latest version. So we're going to download that. I'm going to save it on my desktop. Then it's downloaded right here, and what you want to do is you want to extract it to a USB drive. This drive needs to be formatted as FAT32, and with that you can then access it through the BIOS. So let me extract it just right there, and now it is on the USB thumb drive. So I'm going to eject it right here, and I'm going to put it in the new machine, and then I will lead you through it on how to flash the BIOS. Okay, so now that we have the USB thumb drive, I'm going to put it in the back in one of the white slots, because that was specified by Gigabyte as BIOS flash port. So now I'm gonna press Ctrl-Alt-Delete to reboot it, and then we go into the BIOS. Also saw you can also use the End key for this Gigabyte motherboard to enter QFlash. Here you see update BIOS, so that's what we are going to choose. You now here see the new BIOS version that is on the USB stick. It says X570 RS Elite, or AE.12F. This is the new BIOS file, so I'm going to click that. I'm going to click next. Are you sure you want to update your BIOS? Yes, we do. But a side note beforehand, it is dangerous to flash your BIOS. If your system loses power during the BIOS update, it could brick your motherboard. So do proceed with caution, and if you don't need to update your BIOS, then please don't. I'm only showing you this on how to do it. So we're going to click yes and press to start, and it's updating the BIOS right now. So I'll get back to you when this is finished, and then I'm going to show you in how to set up the BIOS, on how to prepare Windows install media. So I'll be right back. Alright, so now that the BIOS installation is complete, or the BIOS upgrade on the other PC, I have my thumb drive back. And now we want to make a Windows install media tool. So we're gonna download the media installer from Microsoft. Media creation tool. Then you go to the website of Microsoft, and here you can download a tool. I get the Dutch website because I'm in the Netherlands, but you want to download the tool. I'm gonna save it to the desktop as well, and when it's done, let me already insert the USB drive. We're gonna run the application. Getting a few things ready. I also started my screen recording now so that you could see a little bit better, because I had a hunch that you guys couldn't see it so well. Okay, so now that it's done loading, you get to see the terms and conditions. We accept those. And it starts loading again. Okay, so now that it's done loading, we want to create an installation media, USB flash drive, DVD or ISO file for another PC. So we're going to click that. We're going to click next. We want the Dutch version because I'm here in the Netherlands. It's for a friend of mine. We want Windows 10. We want 64 bits. So we click next. USB flash drive. Next. And it automatically detects what kind of USB drives you have in your PC. So in this case, it's drive F. We click next. Now it's getting a few things ready. It's grabbing the ISO file from the internet, and it unpacks it automatically on the USB drive. This could take a while depending on your internet speeds. So when this is done, I will get back to you, and I'll show you how to use it on your new PC, how to set up your BIOS. So I'll just let this run for a bit, and then I'll be right back for you. Okay, so now we made a USB boot drive for the Windows installation. I'm gonna insert it in the PC. And when that's done, we're gonna restart this machine, and we are going into the BIOS. So now that we're in the BIOS, you can see the CPU frequencies, the memory frequencies. You can see your disks right here in the bottom left. You see that XMP is disabled, so we're going to enable that to make the most out of the memory frequency that we have. We want the advanced mode so we can see all the tabs. In here you could also overclock your CPU, but I'm not going into that right now. What we want to do is we want to go to boot, and here you see the boot sequence. At first we now have my USB thumb drive. Second is the mechanical drive that's in this machine, and third is the NVMe SSD. I want to move that up, so I'm going to change these. So now the first boot option is the USB thumb drive. Second is the Kingston SSD that we have installed in this machine, which we want. And now we go to save and exit, and we save the setup as we configured it. and now it's going to boot from the USB drive. And as you can see, we have the Windows installation screen right here. I'm going to install it in Dutch, but the principle remains the same wherever you are. So we click next. We want to install it now because there's nothing on this machine yet. The key is, I don't care where you get your key or how you get your key. For now I'm gonna click I don't have a product key. I will fill in that later for security reasons. So we're gonna skip that one. I'm going for the Windows 10 Professional. Next. The license agreements. We click next and we're gonna do a custom one. Here you see the disks. Please bear in mind which disk is what for yourself. The big one here right now is the 2 terabyte mechanical drive, and the bottom one is the 1 terabyte SSD. I'm gonna make one partition of it. And then it creates a couple of disks. A recovery partition, a system partition of a couple of MBs, and the primary partition. So we're gonna select the primary one and we click next, and now it will copy all the files from the USB thumb drive to the machine, and this way we can start installing it. So I'll just let this run for a while and then I'll get back to you. Now we're gonna reboot. Please bear in mind I didn't connect this machine to the internet. This is because I want to install all the drivers myself. I don't want the machine to install the drivers for me. So I just kept it disconnected. And you also have this new thing in the Windows installation where if you are connected to the internet, it will force you to use an online account. And I'm not much of a fan of that, so I just want a local offline account. So that's why I don't have it connected to the internet. Now just wait for a second to get back to the installation process. Okay, now you select your region. So I choose the Netherlands. Keyboard configuration, you should know this for yourself what type of keyboard you have. This is a US keyboard. I don't want to add a second keyboard. I don't have internet right now. Continue with limited configurations. Now you fill in your name or your nickname. I don't fill in a password for now because he can do that for himself. No, we don't want that. No, we don't want that. I click everything no here because I don't want to link everything to Microsoft. No, I'll not. Just no, 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 no. most of the time with computers is always clicking yes, 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 and now we don't want anything that can be sent to Microsoft. So almost done. And as you can see, we're right now in Windows. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to look for drivers on my other PC. This you do at the manufacturer's website. Uh, you should figure out for yourself which kind of branch you use. So you have to go to the website, then you select your product, then you go to the support page, and then you can download the drivers for that specific part. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and once I have them all, I will install them on this machine. So I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I made a USB drive on my different PC with all the drivers on it for the motherboard and the graphics card, I'm going to insert it in the PC. Then we go to the folder of the USB drive, and here you can see 4 files for motherboard drivers. I've also included the download for controlling the RGB on this keyboard and the IQ software for the ROM DIMMs, and as well as the graphics card driver. So I'm going to start with the drivers for the motherboard. Just click it, yes. It's gonna unpack the driver. As you can see, it's now installing the audio drivers. I also already installed the RGB Fusion software for controlling the RGB in this case. I'm going to install the Radeon software. We want to install it in the default directory. Install it. And there it is. We have immediately a better resolution. And we finish. Needs a reboot. And as you can see, all drivers are installed. So we will continue with the installation of the IQ software. Oh wait, I need a Cooler Master for now because of the keyboard. Perhaps I can adjust the RAM modules through the RGB Fusion software. We want the English installation, yeah. Next, it's going to install it. And it's done. Okay, now that these things are done, I'm going to show you how to activate Windows. So what we do is we go to this PC, Properties, and here you can see the Windows activation button in the right hand corner. So I'm going to click that. I want to adjust my product key, and I'm gonna fill this one in this screen, and I'll get back to you after I clicked next on the screen. So I click next. Now it asks if I want to activate it. I can click it what I want, but since I'm not connected to the internet yet, it will fail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook it up through the Ethernet port, and once I've done that, we can start activating it. So I'll be right back. Alright, now I've hooked it up to the internet, to my network, through an Ethernet cable, and it immediately pops up if I want to make it recognizable on this network. So I click yes, because I want that. I am going to activate Windows again. And it says Windows is activated with a digital license. So that's good. Now I'm going to adjust this for a bit, because I hate the search engine here in the left hand corner. So what I want to do is I want to use small icons. This way the search bar just disappears. This one can also go. Alright, what we want to do now is we want to update Windows. So what we're going to do is we go to start, we want to do type update in, and then you can search for updates through Windows Update. He says no updates available. I'm going to check it once more just to be sure. This is also where you can configure on what times Windows needs to update. You can leave it normal, or you could fill in some times that you use the PC, because if you fill those in, it will plan the updates outside of those hours. So that could come in handy, because we don't like the Windows has just updated, reboot now, and it just starting to reboot and you have lots of unsaved work, as we all know with Windows. So yeah, I'm gonna let this run its course. So I'll be right back when this is finished. Okay, so now that we've updated our machine, we've activated Windows, we can have a look at the RGB software. So what we'll be doing is starting the software right now, and then it's initializing what kind of motherboard we have. So now that the software is open, you can also already see the Corsair RAM, and as you can see right here, the RAM also turned orange. But since I'm building this PC for a friend of mine and he wants to have it a different kind of color, I'm going to adjust it to green, because that's the color that he wanted. So I'm going to click all of them and I set them to green. Once I've done that, we can hit apply, and the fence in the front and as well the little part here and behind the GPU turned green. So I'm going to do the RAM now. I'm going to switch that to green as well, and as you see, it's all green now. You can also adjust it to a couple of other pre-programmed things, such as static, pulse, flash, double flash, or color cycle, or you can switch them off. I'm gonna leave it to green. That's what he wanted. So now I'm going to close this, And now we go to the Cooler Master portal to take care of our keyboard. I want to install this. Keyboard layout, United States, next, next, and we're done. And now we can update the firmware of the keyboard itself. Yes. Installed the latest firmware. Start. Now it's going to open up the software for the keyboard itself. Then you see the keyboard layout. You can adjust every key by itself, or you can just change them all at once. So what I'm going to do is I'm only putting it on green and then hit apply. And now it's all green and the system itself is also green. So what you can do now is you can start installing your own browser through Edge and all the other softwares as well. So you can start using your PC as you would like. This was kind of a long video, but it's also kind of a big process to go through. So I hope you like this video. It comes with a lot of information. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, just give it a dislike. Make sure you subscribe for any future videos. And then I'll see you guys next week. Bye!